Greenland. The name itself evokes images of vast icy plains and towering glaciers. This is a land of extremes, the world's largest island, yet covered mostly in ice. Despite its harsh environment, people have lived in Greenland for thousands of years. Today, Greenland is an autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark. This means it has its own government but relies on Denmark for some things, like defense and foreign policy. But how did this relationship come to be? The story of Greenland is a long and complex one, marked by exploration, colonization, and a growing desire for self-determination. This essay will journey through Greenland's history, exploring how it became intertwined with Denmark. From early Inuit settlers to the arrival of Norse explorers, we'll uncover the forces that shaped this unique land and its people. Thousands of years before Europeans arrived, Greenland was inhabited by various Paleo-Eskimo cultures. These hardy people, the ancestors of today's Inuit, migrated across the Arctic, adapting to some of the planet's harshest conditions. Around 2500 BC, the Sakak culture emerged in Greenland. Skilled hunters, they thrived on seals, walruses, and other Arctic wildlife. Their legacy lives on in archaeological sites, offering glimpses into their ingenuity and resilience. Centuries later, other Paleo-Eskimo groups like the Dorset followed. They too carved out a life in this challenging environment, developing unique hunting techniques and cultural practices. Around 986 AD, Norse explorers led by Eric the Red arrived in Greenland. These seafarers established settlements in the southwestern part of the island, marking the beginning of a new chapter in Greenland's history. Greenland's climate played a crucial role in the fate of both early Inuit and Norse settlements, shaping their histories in profound ways. The Inuit, with their deep understanding of the Arctic environment, were able to adapt and thrive for centuries, demonstrating remarkable resilience. They developed specialized tools and hunting techniques, relying on sea mammals and caribou for survival, which were abundant in their harsh surroundings. The Norse, however, faced greater challenges in this unforgiving environment. They arrived during a period of relatively mild temperatures known as the medieval warm period, which initially seemed promising. This allowed them to establish farms and a way of life similar to what they knew in Scandinavia, bringing their agricultural practices with them. However, by the 14th century, temperatures began to drop, ushering in a period known as the Little Ice Age, which drastically altered their environment. This had a devastating impact on Norse settlements, making their survival increasingly difficult. Sea ice choked the fjords, making travel and trade difficult, isolating the Norse communities. Crops failed, and livestock perished in the increasingly harsh winters, leading to food shortages and starvation. By the 15th century, Norse settlements in Greenland had vanished, leaving behind only ruins as a testament to the power of climate change and the resilience required to survive it. Centuries after the disappearance of the Norse settlements, European interest in Greenland rekindled. This time it wasn't just about exploration. The 16th and 17th centuries saw the rise of European colonialism, driven by a thirst for new lands, resources, and trade routes. Denmark-Norway, a unified kingdom at the time, turned its gaze towards Greenland. The island held strategic importance, potentially offering a foothold in the North Atlantic and access to valuable resources like whale blubber, used for oil and lighting. However, contact with the Inuit people who remained in Greenland was sporadic and often driven by economic interests. European whalers and traders saw the island primarily as a source of profit, with little regard for the indigenous population. It wouldn't be long before Denmark-Norway sought to solidify its claim on Greenland, setting the stage for a complex relationship that continues to this day. Section 5. Hans Egede and the Mission to Greenland. In 1721, a Norwegian Lutheran missionary named Hans Egede played a pivotal role in cementing Denmark-Norway's presence in Greenland. His journey was not just a religious mission but also a significant historical event that shaped the future of the island. Fueled by a desire to spread Christianity and a belief that Norse descendants might still inhabit the island, Egede secured royal support for an expedition. This royal backing was crucial, as it provided the necessary resources and legitimacy for his ambitious endeavor. Landing on Greenland's west coast, Egede encountered not Norse settlers but the Inuit, who had endured for centuries despite European absence. This unexpected meeting marked the beginning of a complex relationship between the European missionaries and the indigenous people. Undeterred, Egede dedicated himself to learning their language and customs, beginning the process of converting them to Christianity. His efforts to understand and communicate with the Inuit were groundbreaking and set a precedent for future interactions. Egede's mission marked a turning point. It was not just about religious conversion but also about cultural exchange and adaptation. While driven by religious zeal, it also served as a catalyst for Danish-Norwegian colonization. The mission's success encouraged further European settlement and control over Greenland. Egede established a permanent settlement, Godthab, now Nuuk, Greenland's capital, and his efforts paved the way for greater Danish involvement in Greenlandic affairs. This settlement became a central hub for future expeditions and trade. His mission, though intended to re-establish contact with Norse descendants, inadvertently laid the foundation for Danish dominance over the Inuit people. This dominance had lasting impacts on the cultural and social landscape of Greenland. Section 6. Legal battles and solidified control. As Denmark-Norway strengthened its foothold in Greenland, other European powers began to take notice. The potential for resource extraction and strategic advantage in the North Atlantic led to competing claims over the island. During the 18th century, Denmark-Norway found itself embroiled in legal battles, primarily with the Dutch, over sovereignty in Greenland. These disputes were ultimately settled in Denmark-Norway's favor, but not without highlighting the growing importance of asserting clear legal ownership over colonial possessions. By the early 19th century, Denmark-Norway had solidified its control over Greenland. The union between Denmark and Norway dissolved in 1814, with Denmark retaining possession of Greenland, along with Iceland and the Faroe Islands. Greenland officially became a Danish colony in 1814, marking the beginning of a new era characterized by Danish administration, cultural assimilation policies, and growing Greenlandic resistance to colonial rule. Section 7. A slow march to autonomy. For much of the 20th century, Greenland remained under Danish colonial rule. However, the seeds of change were sown as Greenlanders began to assert their own identity and desire for self-determination. After World War II, a global wave of decolonization movements fueled Greenlandic aspirations for greater autonomy. Denmark, recognizing the changing global landscape, gradually granted Greenland more self-governance. In 1953, Greenland's colonial status was abolished, and it was incorporated into the Danish realm as a county. This marked a significant step towards self-rule, granting Greenlanders Danish citizenship and representation in the Danish parliament. However, the desire for greater control over their own affairs continued to grow among the Greenlandic people. They sought control over their resources, their culture, and their destiny. Section 8. The question of independence. In 1979, Greenland achieved home rule, gaining control over internal affairs such as education, healthcare, and cultural matters. This marked a significant step towards self-determination. But the question of full independence remained a complex and evolving issue. Greenland held a referendum on independence in 2008, with 75% of voters opting for greater autonomy within the Kingdom of Denmark. This resulted in the Self-Government Act of 2009, which further expanded Greenland's autonomy, granting control over its natural resources and recognizing the Greenlandic people's right to self-determination. Today, Greenland stands at a crossroads. The island faces both challenges and opportunities as it navigates its relationship with Denmark and the global community. The potential for resource extraction, particularly in light of climate change and melting ice, raises questions about economic development and environmental sustainability. The path forward requires careful consideration of economic viability, social cohesion, and the preservation of Greenlandic culture and identity. Section 9. Conclusion. A future yet to be written in ice. Greenland's journey from early Inuit settlements to its current status as an autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark is a testament to the enduring spirit of its people, who have thrived in one of the harshest environments on Earth. This journey reflects the complex interplay of history, culture, and geopolitics, shaping the unique identity of Greenland. The question of Greenland's future independence remains a subject of ongoing debate. Economic viability, social cohesion, and the preservation of Greenlandic culture and identity are all crucial factors that will shape this decision. The preservation of Greenlandic culture and identity are all crucial factors that will shape this decision. The icy land of Greenland, once a distant outpost on the edge of the world, is now stepping onto the global stage. Its future will be shaped by the choices it makes, balancing the desire for self-determination with the realities of a rapidly changing world. The story of Greenland is far from over. As the ice continues to melt, revealing new possibilities and challenges, the world watches with bated breath to see what the next chapter holds for this remarkable land and its resilient people. The melting ice is not just a symbol of climate change but also a harbinger of new opportunities and unforeseen challenges. As the ice continues to melt, revealing new possibilities and challenges, the world watches with bated breath to see what the next chapter holds for this remarkable land and its resilient people. The future of Greenland is a story yet to be written, a narrative that will unfold with each passing season, shaped by the choices of its people and the ever-changing world around them.